Cheratin can also be called as keratin. It is made of the ubiquitous material keratin with robotic fabrication and synthetic biology. First, I want to ask one question. How much wool does garment industry actually waste? In 2019, the global fiber waste reaching an all-time high of 111 million metric tons. Another question, how much chicken feeder does agricultural industry actually waste? The answer is 5 million tons per year. Now, you are probably a little bit confused about the connection of these two questions. Actually, the point I want to tell you, except for the huge waste, is that from the molecular perspective, they are made of the same structural biopolymer, keratin. Keratin is also a long-lasting component of human waste, such as your hair, shedded skin, and fingernails. Except from being very soft, keratin can also be very strong and tough. For example, rhino's horn, impala's horn, and the turtle's shell. The distinguishing feature of keratin is the persistence of large amounts of sulfur-containing amino acid cysteine required for the disulfide bridges that confer additional strength and rigidity. That's the reason why your hair is more flexible and elastic. Horn and shell are normally stabilized and hardened by disulfide bridges. So, how might we design a chair made of keratin? Then I made the prototype. As for the shell, I selected the longest living animal turtle as the inspiration, because sphere can bring a sense of security and the dome and arched structure can disperse the force. To let the user sit comfortably, the part interacting with the human body is designed ergonomically to better fit the bone and support human body. So I used clay to make the shape and then turn it into digital shape and modify it to make the surface more smooth, beautiful, and also more stable. I also use a human model to adjust the cushion and the back. As for the inner structure, inspired by the organelle such as Golgi and ER, which has higher specific surface area, and in the meanwhile, the shape is organic and aesthetic. Then I use cinema 4D to mimic its shape with different turbulence and thickness, and I selected one with slight turbulence and medium thickness. I also 3D printed in a tiny version and made this physical prototype to test its feasibility of the outer shell, and it works well. Then I tried different colors and selected the light reddish-brown color to let user feel warm, calm, and soothing. Here comes to my final chair. The inner structure between them will be gradually softened from the outside to the inside. So, how to manufacture it? First, we will acquire softed keratin from recycled wool and synthesize hard keratin in the lab. With the mathematical model, we can 3D print it by PolyJet. For the soft keratin, we can collaborate with this bioengineering team from Harvard who developed a keratin-based 3D printed textile from recycled wool last year. To obtain the hard keratin, we can also co-work with Penbient, a startup company who synthesized the rhino horn in the lab from yeast. First, get a protein and corresponding DNA from UniProt, a database providing comprehensive high-quality protein sequences. Then, with gene editing, we can knock in target genes to the yeast. After that, we can culture the yeast and let the protein to express. Then, we can use a mathematical model to decide the proportion of different types of keratin for each point, and it will be defined by these factors including Young's modulus, thickness, density, and aesthetic factor. After I had a consulting session with RCA technician, I acknowledged that with this 3D technology, PolyJet, this model can be printed with a higher resolution and higher quality. In the end, this chair can be deposed by enzyme. Cheratin can be more than a chair. We can reduce the waste of fur from fashion and agricultural industry, even from pet and barber shop. We can synthesize the horn or shell for the wildlife and endangered animals such as rhino and elk. We can even make it as a new plastic. That's all. Thank you.